Finally, jewelry designer Amanda Patterson says her favorite spot sparkles with constantly good cuisine, a homey atmosphere, and friendly service. She says the menu offers healthy alternatives and the live music is always a treat. It's in Coconut Grove and it's called Berries in the Grove.
Berries is it's fresh and it's homemade, and you know I learned the hard way that the only thing you can ever tell a customer is, what can I do to make you happy? And I think that that's what we do. It's really a local spot. You know, we haven't really advertised too much. It's a 1920 house. You're kind of restricted with the house, you know, because you have a wall here. Where do you put your bathrooms? Where do you put your kitchen? And you know, in the front we just had an open room. You know, and you sit around the patio. We figured, okay, let's make the bar, and it worked out. People ask us, what is your concept? I guess we're creative American comfort food. I think we're known for our salads and our smoothies and our shakes and, you know, our fresh homemade pastas and desserts. Just everything, attention to detail, just trying to make it, you know, one of a kind, homemade.
Amanda, you say the atmosphere at Berries is really what keeps you coming.
Absolutely, top notch. I started going to Berries probably about 9 years ago because we had friends that were playing live music there, and it's not common to find live music in Miami. So we went there for the live music, and then we got sucked in by the ambiance and the food. Consistently good. I've never been disappointed when I've eaten there. Great place for a first date. It's very quiet. The music is not overwhelming. It's you have the choice of sitting on the patio or sitting indoors. The patio is where you want to be. I tend to stick to the mahi dish, which is done in a passion fruit reduction over sweet potatoes with sautéed spinach.
Right.
And it's just it's healthy and it's light. The fish is fresh. Between the food and the ambiance, it's definitely one of my favorites, and I'm there more often than I'd like to admit.
Peter?
I had the pumpkin ravioli, which was great. I mean, the pasta was wonderful. The filling was wonderfully sweet. However, the crab cakes they had for the appetizer were really awful. It was these two little nubs of just soggy breadcrumbs. It sort of like tasted to me. I didn't know what was going on there.
Excuse me, Peter. That's I don't know. Maybe we had a different chef that night.
Yeah, the crab cakes also, right?
We had the crab cakes also. The crab cakes was full of crabs, full of crab meat.
He uses
And
lumps.
Lumps.
Crab meat.
I mean, we
There was
just
hardly a hint of
thought
crab flavor.
Oh my goodness, we were
It's
so
really disappointing because there's a lot of great crab cake in Miami, you know. And for those of you put in front of me, I was just aghast.
Well, I was aghast for a different reason. I was just amazed. I was amazed by it. It was so good to finally taste all the flavor that you finally want when you order something
And
like
you're
that.
in love with their gnocchi,
Oh my God.
which they cut by hand every
Yes,
day.
the oyster mushroom and the portobello mushroom,
Right.
and they use a truffle oil. And I
You love that.
mean, I almost fell back when I took one taste. To die for. What can I say? I mean, it was wonderful.
I had a great dessert there. I had this berries Merlot, which is you know, strawberries with a Merlot reduction and a pyramid of whipped cream on top, served in a burgundy glass. And that was great. And that was suggested to me by this wonderful hostess who sort of rescued me from the patio, which is a wonderful looking place, except I had a bad time there.
No,
that it was
that's
dominated.
the cellar. Yeah.
That it was dominated by this three-sided bar with the TV blaring, and then the two women next to me lit up cigarettes, and I was engulfed in this cloud of smoke.
The biggest frustration is the fact that three sides are open, and by law you have to allow cigarette smoking. So they're trying to figure out some way to stop that from happening. But I know that you know the frustration's there, and they're trying hard. So how'd you end your meal?
I ended my meal with their chocolate
Flourless, right?
flourless. He made it a point of saying, because a lot of people have conditions that don't tolerate
Absolutely.
it. And as a nurse, I totally respected that. It
As
was
a chef, it's my nemesis.
it was the best chocolate fudgy. It's not cake because it wasn't dry at all. Almost like a cross between a very moist brownie and a fudge. I really enjoyed it.
Did you have dessert? Do you
Couldn't
usually
get
have
that
dessert?
far. I started out with the Barry's house salad, which is, for me, it's one of my favorite salads because it's just very fresh, and the dressing on it is their homemade dressing, and it's just a great way to start the meal. But the unfortunate part is it's very large, so I ate that and then ate my mahi dinner. So I did not make it to dessert, but I have in the past had the strawberries with the reduction, and it's one of my favorite desserts.
I think there's value there. I think it's worth it. I
Absolutely.
mean, I had the bad crab cakes, but you know, everything else was wonderful. I think it's a wonderful neighborhood bar with great food, you know.
Right.
But I don't consider it like a dining destination.
I think it's definitely not your South Beach, take your friends out and see Miami. It's definitely a locals destination.
Well, Amanda, this was your choice. Give me a little summary.
It's going to always be one of my favorite places. I think after 9 years, if their food is consistent and every time I go there I have a great time, it's going to stay at the top of my list.
Peter?
I wouldn't send people there as a dining destination. But surprisingly great food for what seems like a common neighborhood bar.
Amy?
I would definitely send people that I like there. And I plan to go back on Valentine's Day with somebody very special. I loved it.
For a laid-back dinner, you can grab a bite at Barry's in the Grove, located at 2884 Southwest 27th Avenue in Coconut Grove. Open for lunch and dinner daily and for breakfast on the weekends. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab for dinner without drinks is about $25.